Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the season finale of the 2018 birelART UK Series here from Whilton Mill in Northamptonshire. Jake Sanson up in the commentary box. What a showdown it is going to be in the final ever weekend under the guise of the birelART UK Series. Many of you will have observed, of course, on Friday evening the announcement from Daniel Ricciardo's Instagram page that the championship is going to be rebranded for the new season as the Daniel Ricciardo Series. We are very excited. We've all seen the brand new Ricciardo karts yesterday, as well as the new race suits and graphic stickers that we're going to be sporting in the 2019 season. All is very exciting, but before we make that transition, we still have to decide the last ever title in the birelART UK Series. There are 3 championships, of course, in this category, and the cadets have already been sealed based on the fact that the championship leader, Nathan Tighe, has elected not to compete over the course of today, with only an exclusion from the meeting barring him from becoming champion. He has decided it's not worth the risk, so he will watch the racing from the sidelines and cheer on his friends and his stablemates. But that means that obviously there's going to be another couple of battles to keep an eye on. The focus now switches not on the cadets' overall title, but on the cadets' rookie campaign, because there's still a very close battle between the top 2 rookies across the 2018 season, Archie Heron versus Craig Evans. And it's going to be a really exciting battle because both of them have shown incredible flair through the season. Both have shown great speed, maturity, consistency, and incredible skill through the course of the year. So it's all to play for between the 2 rookies in this final race weekend of the season. Plus, there's a lot of pride at stake here. The likes of Oakley Keatley, Charlie Humphreys and Aidan Hassan, along with Jamie Gurney, all trying to end their seasons on a high. For Aidan Hassan, his mission is very clear. P4 in the title. He can do it by overtaking Jamie Gurney in the point standings, but Jamie is very solid and consistent. Aidan Hassan in the last 2 meetings, though, has been absolutely on fire and never really outside the top 3 in the timesheets. So it's really exciting to see what he can do. There's a lot of other rookies on the grid, of course, this weekend. We're going to see some really exciting battles, and of course, for this weekend, the season finale, the return of the 2017 champion, Ella Stevens. There is Nathan Tighe, in fact, in the bobble hat and birelART jacket, chatting away to the number 49, Jamie Scott, who is another one of the top rookies from the year. There is Lily Jeffs, the 54. 11th in the standings coming into this final round. And there is the ever-impressive Jamie Warner, who's done a really good job over the course of this weekend. Yesterday in practice, he really showed a developmental switch in his racecraft, and his speed is coming on strong now. So we should see some really exciting challenges from him as the weekend plays out. 2 new faces, of course, to take into account this weekend, as there are some new faces up and down the length and breadth of the championship. There's going to be some new faces galore next year, but of course we've got some new drivers who came in from yesterday's academy. There's Aidan Hassan in the number 55, who has a very clear target and objective in front of him. But you saw the likes of Max Winfield and Ollie Morrish, who joined the championship this weekend for their first race meeting in the championship, and it'll be great to see what they can do as the 2 newest faces in the cadets contingent. But obviously there's a lot of other drivers who'll want to make a good impression. Jake Bell, the 75, the 102, Mackenzie Taylor. He had a bit of a slip-up in yesterday's practice session, but fortunately he is perfectly okay. Qualifying about to get underway, as those of you watching at home on the live stream, or those of you listening via Downforce UK, are going to be in for some great entertainment from the races over the course of the weekend. Now the drivers are being sent out onto the circuit, led out by the 2017 champion, Ella Stevens. She's going to hand over the number 1 plate to Nathan Tighe at the end of the weekend. But there are still 3 races to play out for the cadets in the heat, the pre-final and the final. And it will all be down to who can do what. Now, let's take a look at how they've done in qualifying over the course of the season. It's been very even in the Cadets Championship as far as qualifying is concerned. There's not been one driver in qualifying who has shown a flair of dominance. Nathan Tighe, Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens have all managed to get pole position on 2 occasions through the course of the season, whereas in the 7th qualifying session, it was Aidan Hassan that topped the timesheets, of course, last time out at Shennington. So 4 drivers have been on pole position thus far this season, but they're going to have a very interesting day at the office today to figure out, I suppose technically, who is going to be the king of qualifying in 2018, because it could be Hassan who levels the playing field, But if either Ella Stevens or Oakley Keatley bags pole position, then they will be crowned the king of qualifying from 2018 in the birelART Cadets, because with 2 apiece for Nathan Ty, who's not competing, Oakley Keatley and that lady Ella Stevens, who won last year's championship, returning to the series in the season finale in much a similar way to the way that Oliver Gray did 12 months ago when he returned to the championship for a final play before he stepped up into another championship. It's going to be really interesting to see how these ladies and gents get on in this final round of the championship. The weather forecast says that it's a 50% chance of rain throughout qualifying in the early part of the heats, but then it is due to stop. Now, we've had a spin from a couple of drivers up at the right-hander, on the far side, the left-hander I should say. It's Callum Lockett, who's rejoined right in front of Riley Price, and Archie Heron. Now that's a big problem. Archie Heron in trouble on the way down the down the bottom of the hill, and that is really going to cause a bit of an issue there. He's managed to get back on, having gone off at Ogier. But having gone up at Ozier's, he's managed to get back onto the circuit up at the boot. But that is definitely not the way that Archie Heron wanted to start his final weekend of the season and his bid to become rookie champion. Now, there's a lot of rookies in the category, of course, for this weekend. So we'll see how they all fare. But at the moment, at the top of the timesheets, it is Ella Stevens who has gone to the top of the rankings. So we'll see how she fares in front of Charlie Humphreys. Half a second is the gap at the moment. Oakley Keatley had some difficulties with the kart yesterday. He wasn't really able to show his ultimate speed. So we're hoping to see a bit of a change for that later on in the session as Ella Stevens goes through to turn 1 on a 53.819. Charlie Humphreys has increased his time, trying to chase her down. Oakley Keatley is currently 3rd. Craig Evans is in 4th position right now. Really good performance from him, as he's actually faster than both Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney at the moment. So a really strong start to qualifying for Craig Evans. Then it is Callum Lockett in 7th behind Hassan and Gurney. 8th is currently Josh Turnbull, another driver who's made leaps and bounds this season. Then Jamie Scott and Riley Price. Then Mackenzie Taylor. Archie Heron comes up to 7th position, so he's finally starting to get the pace. So Heron is now 7th in front of Lockett, Turnbull and Jamie Scott. Then it is Riley Price from Mackenzie Taylor. Lily Jeffs is 13th ahead of Freddie Cox. Chase Sharp is 15th from Hudson Cross. Ollie Morris is in 17th place. It's showing there on your graphic, if you're watching the live stream, that he is one of the established drivers. That's actually an error. He is a rookie driver, as is down at the back of the field Max Winfield. But Ali Hussein is in behind Ollie Morris, then Jake Bell, then Jamie Warner and Max Winfield. So we wish Ollie Morris and Max Winfield good luck on their first ever weekend in the birelART UK Series. It'll be their first and last time in the championship, of course, before the whole thing is rebranded next year as the Daniel Ricciardo Series. Craig Evans has gone 3rd position now. He's really on it at the moment here in qualifying, having done a best time of a 54.437. Hassan beats that now and goes up into 3rd place on a 54.2. But Ella Stevens, incredibly, is on a 53.5, which is nearly half a second quicker than Charlie Humphreys at this point. But she's very good at getting up to speed in the greasy conditions. Both Max Winfield and Ollie Morris are on a charge. They've gone faster than Jake Bell, Jamie Warner and Ali Hussein. So good work from the 2 novices for this weekend. Obviously, there are all, very nearly all rookies in this championship, but next year we're going to have one heck of a competitive grid in the cadets as we transition to the black and white suits with the blue insignia. And of course, the red, blue and white cards. Oh, a bit of a slip up there for Freddie Cox as he's just pushed a little bit too far into the boot, but has got it going pretty quickly. His lap times are good though. He's in 14th place at the moment, just in behind Mackenzie Taylor. So Freddie Cox having moved up to 14th place. Callum Lockett still trying to push on as hard as possible. I was talking to him earlier in the weekend. He cannot wait to get into a junior because, as you can probably tell, he's a little bit taller than a lot of the other cadets in the category. So he is really excited about making the transition to juniors next year. Here come the cadets up towards Christmas Corner. A lot of qualifying laps coming in. Oh dear, that's a bit of a moment for Hudson Cross, who I have to say has taken a really big leap in terms of how strong and confident he is showing this weekend. He's gone a lot faster in the practice sessions over the weekend than we've seen before. So Hudson Cross is getting better all the time, and no wonder he's going for the apex to try and get a fast lap in. Meanwhile, we've got the battle between Evans and Heron on the same row of the grid at the moment, because Heron has moved up to 6th, Evans is in 5th, and the gap between them is about 0.6 of a second at the moment. So that's going to be a really interesting battle between the two. Some great running from the drivers at the moment in Cadets. A bit of a moment there for Chase Sharp as he slips up at the final turn on what looked like it was a very quick lap. Oakley-Keatley now comes through. Is he able to get into third? Not quite yet. More technical difficulties with Keatley. It's not really relevant in terms of the championship fight, but obviously there's going to be some really exciting battles. But at the top of the table at the moment, it is Ella Stevens, who is running very well, and former Formula Renault champion Alice Powell is watching. Go for it, Ella, doing a fantastic job there. 0.4 of a second in front of Charlie Humphreys. Aidan Hassan third at the moment from Oakley-Keatley, then Craig Evans and Archie Heron, and the rain has started, so we've got greasy conditions and oil flags down on the circuit, and obviously these drivers are on slick tyres. I think we may end up with the fastest lap times we're going to get. The rain has just started in earnest. We did say there was a 50% chance of rain coming into the qualifying session, so that 50% clearly is not on our side at the moment. So it is getting quite slippery around the circuit. The drivers are working very hard to make sure they can get as much speed out of the cars as they can towards the end of the session, but the rain is definitely going to make things difficult as drivers are slipping off left, right and centre, as Hudson Cross has gone for a little bit of a pirouette, and I think so too has Jamie Scott, who's going ridiculously quickly out there. Great to see him doing a really good job in this second half of the season, and I've got a feeling that heading into 2019, Jamie Scott could be a bit of an underdog contender for the whole championship next year. His rate of development going very well indeed. Oil flags all around the circuit, of course, because of the rain conditions. Freddie Cox has a little bit of a slip up into the hairpin at Ashby, and then up down towards Parker into the left-hander, but it is obviously going to be very slippery for the cadets out there in the wet conditions. But as soon as the rain starts, it stops again. So I think it's going to be one of those days at Whilton Mill. So far though, no fastest laps from any of the drivers in the last couple of moments, but that is of course because we had a little bit of rain. There's all sorts of excitement to come, especially in the rookie battle between Craig Evans and Archie Heron. Fan base from home, Shelley Robinson. Go Craig, good luck from Auntie Shelley and Uncle Paul. They are rooting for Craig Evans to get this job done. It's going to be really, really intense as the battle comes to a head in the rookie category. There's a lot of drivers who could take the win away from them, of course, don't forget. Josh Turnbull, Jamie Scott, Lily Jeffs, the ever-impressive Riley Price, who's still going very well indeed, considering he joined midway through the year. Mackenzie Taylor, Freddie Cox, Chase Sharp, Hudson Cross, Ali Hussein, Max Winfield, Ollie Morris, Jake Bell and Jamie Warner in that order on the grid in qualifying, as Chase Sharp has had a little bit of a pirouette into the boot. So easy to do there because you're obviously trying your best to get the best line out of the corners, and it's very tricky and slippery on slick tyres here at Whilton Mill. But astonishing that given the conditions we're in, with the rain deciding whether to fall or not at the moment, that the entire field, all 21 cars, have got just 5 seconds between them. Really exciting stuff, and really good to see that the new faces are able to keep up with the established guard, as Chase Sharp has another quick spin. He's going to be very frustrated with that. Chase is a very determined young man and always wants to get the most out of himself, the most out of the kart. So this is going to be a frustrating couple of laps for him, but he'll still be in a good position on the grid because he's currently looking at 15th place, just in behind Freddie Cox, who comes across the line now. A lot of drivers, I think, have realised that they're not going to get any more out of the kart at all because the rain has decided to come back again now. So unfortunately, I think that is all the running we're going to get in dry conditions. So that means that Ella Stevens is going to take the pole position. A brilliant performance, and by 0.4 of a second too. So Ella Stevens is now officially the most successful driver in the championship season for pole positions, despite the fact that she hasn't done a full campaign. She's still come away with 3 pole positions from the year. So that is quite an incredible statistic, really. Ella Stevens on pole position from Charlie Humphreys. Aidan Hassan in a very crucial 3rd place as far as P4 in the championship is concerned. That's what he wants this weekend, and he looks very good to get it at the moment. Oakley-Keatley is in 4th position. Then it's the 2 drivers fighting for the rookie title. Craig Evans ahead of Archie Heron. Then Jamie Gurney and Callum Lockett. Josh Turnbull and Jamie Scott. Then it is Lily Jeffs and Riley Price from Mackenzie Taylor, Freddie Cox, Chase Sharp, Hudson Cross, Ali Hussein, Max Winfield, Ollie Morris, Jake Bell and Jamie Warner. So a really exciting qualifying session, and obviously it's going to make the racing particularly unpredictable We're going to catch up with the cadets a little bit later on, but for the moment, apologies for that little bit of Darth Vader feedback, as I'm going to make my way downstairs into the pit lane so that we can have a word with a few of the drivers preparing for action in the junior category. So it's going to be a really exciting end to the season for all of those here at Whilton Mill, as the rain is finally deciding it is going to come down in a bit of a heavy drizzle at the moment rather than a full deluge. But it's definitely going to change a few things tactically for the drivers. They've got to be very careful about how they go about things. And for well, as you can see here at Whilton Mill, the rain is still in the air. It's going to be very difficult for the drivers to predict how these races are going to go. And it looks like it's going to remain in the air all the way through this first heat, where there could be quite a few changes to the order as a result of this first race. Let's see if we can have a word with a couple of drivers down here as they prepare for the last weekend of the season. Charlie Humphreys, tricky conditions. It's going to be a really difficult one in the wet weather, but how are you finding it so far?
Good, I just need to try not to crash and I should be good.
Now obviously you're trying to hang on to third position in the Drivers' Championship. From your point of view, this is your best chance to pick up some victories.
Hopefully, yeah.
Good man, have a good one. So this is going to be a tricky one for all of the drivers concerned. Everybody, of course, has gone on to the wet tyres now. There's no real option for these cadets to be on any compound other than the wets. Let's have a bit of a look. These Vega tyres, obviously incredible to look at when they're brand new. They need to have those treads on them, and obviously the little spikes to get as much water absorbed onto the compound as possible. The last time that the karts are going to look like this, of course, because in the 2019 season, they're going to have a completely new livery. Every kart will be identical in appearance. They'll all have the Ricardo kart graphics kit with the light blue and white insignia. It's going to be really exciting to see how the karts are going to evolve next year. Let's have a word with the man who's finally cracked his first victory last time out at Shenington. You had an amazing run. If you had started that first race at Shenington, you could well have walked away with all three victories. How are you feeling coming into this one, Aidan?
I feel like it's my home track, but I don't really feel that comfortable here because it's wet. But I'll just push and make sure I get the win.
The goal, I guess, has to be to see if you can beat Jamie Gurney in the points to seal fourth position, but there's an awful lot at stake now, especially with Ella coming back in.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, hopefully it's another good one for you, Aidan. Good luck, mate. So who else should we have? Well, we definitely should talk to the two drivers who are fighting for the rookie category class today. Let's get in under the umbrella and have a word with Archie Heron. Archie, it's a big moment, and it's very close between you and Craig, but there's been many times when he's beaten you in one session and you've come back to find something extra, so it's very much game on now.
Yeah, because we're together basically. I can't basically go to the back. If I go back, I can basically lose it all from there.
And this is going to be a really important test of your character. You've shown many times this year in difficult situations that you can raise your game and come through it. Are you worried by the wet, or are you just going to enjoy it?
Just going to enjoy it.
Good answer, good man. Right, so Archie Heron's looking forward to it. Let's see if we can find the man who he's going to be fighting with for that rookie honour. Craig Evans, this is a big day. Obviously your first campaign full-time in the championship, but you've drawn first blood in qualifying.
Yeah, it's hopefully going to be a good day.
And this is not going to be easy. I mean, this is Whilton Mill, a circuit that's very greasy in the best of conditions, so added to the fact that we've had the water now, how are you feeling?
I think I can handle it, hopefully.
Good man. Keep up that confidence. Good job. So as we can see all the way up and down the grid, the massive rookies that we've had for this weekend has really been fantastic to see. We've got all of the names who are starting to establish themselves into little brand names of their own here. We've got some great talent on the grid. There's Riley Price and Freddie Cox lining themselves up together on the starting grid. An opportunity to pick out a couple of the new names to the championship for this weekend. First of all, we've got the 31 of Maxfield. This is going to be a really interesting test for him. Hopefully we're going to see him in a good performance. Here's Hudson Cross, who's had a really strong weekend over the course of the practice sessions yesterday. He really showed an amazing turn of speed. The other rookie on the grid, of course, is the number 44 over the other way here as we get ourselves ready for the action. Not only Max Winfield, but also Ollie Morrish, the 44. He's raring to go, and he's been the most beaming of grin drivers all the way through the weekend. He's absolutely loving being a racing driver in his first weekend as a birelART cadet. There's Jamie Warner. He's getting himself ready for the action. It'll be really exciting to see him come through. Of Craig Evans, it looks like, has actually been put to the back of the cadet grid. Obviously some kind of infringement in qualifying, but that means he's now going to have to fight his way through from the tail end. So this is going to be very exciting. Drivers revving up the engines now as they get themselves ready for the off in the first race of the weekend for the birelART cadets. They'll have 2 rolling laps to go around. And of course, with the title fight still very much up for grabs in the rookie contingency between Archie Heron and Craig Evans, and that lady from the last season, 2017 champion Ella Stevens, back on the grid. Who knows what's going to happen? This is going to be one heck of a show from the birelART cadets. They're going to give us entertainment aplenty. The whistle blows at the end of the pit lane as Megan is getting ready to wave them out onto the starting grid again. This is going to be such an amazing show. The drivers getting themselves ready for all of the spoils. Mackenzie Taylor and Lily Jeffs, I'm just walking past now. Good luck to them. They're going to have a really good day at the office. Just going past Jamie Gurney, an opportunity for him to score well here today, and he goes brilliantly in these conditions usually. So again, it's going to be another strong show from him. Good to see Ella Stevens back on the paddock and at the front row of the grid as well. She's lost none of the speed and has actually taken more pole positions this year in birelART Cadet than any other driver in the championship. Whistle blows, the green flag is ready to fly, and the drivers are ready to go out for the final heat of the season. And it's going to be a really exciting run. The weather is still against the drivers at the moment. The rain is still in the air, and that is going to make grip very, very tough. Here we go. Cards are waved out onto the circuit and they go around for the rolling lap. The grid is going to come up on your screen very shortly, but the drivers are heading out onto the circuit now. Still difficult conditions here at Whilton Mill as the rain is still very much in the air. And obviously the track surface is very greasy. One of the things I noticed yesterday on my track walk actually is that the painted yellow lines on the start-finish straight are actually very, very tricky because they've repainted the lines on the start-finish line, the tram lines of the 4 strips of yellow paint on the main straight. They've actually repainted that recently here at Whilton Mill, and it's quite thick. So in the wet conditions, that's going to be reduced grip because it's obviously very slippery anyway, but when you add water to a very strong painted line, the drivers are going to come out of that final turn and hit the line. It's going to be very tricky for them to get grip. So there is your grid as the drivers are making their way around to the starting grid. It looks to me as though Craig Evans has been put back a few places on the starting grid. I'm guessing for a transgression in the qualifying session. Possibly the lap was a little bit tight in terms of the track limits or something along those lines. I couldn't tell you what the decision for that was because I haven't been handed it, but that's a great capacity grid, isn't it? 21 cadets here this weekend for the final race weekend of the season, and there's going to be an absolutely terrific weekend in the offing. We'll see so many great drivers out there as Freddie Cox has had a little bit of a spin on the rolling lap, but he's got it going again, so no panic there. Just needs to calm down again, settle yourself in. All of the drivers, of course, now on wet tyres. There's absolutely no question about it for the cadets, at least for race 1. They've definitely all got to be on the wet compounds in these conditions. It's the safest option for all of the drivers out there. Good luck to Jake Bell from Maxine Lee, who's watching at home. And it's going to be a really exciting race for all of the drivers out there. Such a tricky situation now for all of the competitors in the cadets in these conditions. The greasiest we've seen all season, the biggest grid of the year as well. 21 drivers on the starting grid, and that is going to make things particularly hairy into the first corner. All the drivers are going to have to keep their wits about them as they head to turn 1, and this is going to be possibly the most electric start from the birelART cadets that we have seen all season long, and it's the last one that they're going to be doing under the guise of birelART. Apologies to Maxine Lee. She's not watching from home. She's watching from the sidelines, but she's also got the live stream in her hand via her mobile phone because she wants to see all the action from all parts of the circuit. Apologies, Maxine. So, up to the boot. Into the left-hander. Ella Stevens and Charlie Humphreys from the front of the grid. Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley from that second row of the grid. Archie Heron is in there with Jamie Scott. This is going to be a really interesting start. Here come the drivers out of the final turn. They're now not allowed to accelerate until the yellow cone. So, is it going to be a clean start? No, it's not. And that is because I think it's been judged that Charlie Humphreys put the boot on the floor just a little bit too early. So now they've got to go round again. So the drivers think they might be racing, but they're not. So they're now going to have to go around again. The drivers are now signalling, we need to go round again, we need to go round again. So that's exactly what they're doing. Now that was because, I'm fairly sure, Charlie Humphreys basically went around the final corner and went, right, go. And you need to accelerate at the yellow line halfway up the straight, not beforehand. So obviously with Charlie Humphreys putting his foot down, naturally the man beside him on the grid, the lady beside him on the grid, Ella Stevens, saw the battle there as well and thought, well, if he's going, I'm going. But unfortunately, the yellow line is where they need to start accelerating. So they need to back this up quite early on. And of course, in this particular situation, oh, red flags we're watching now. So red flags, and it's because we've had a couple of incidents on the rolling lap. So we're now under red flags. The carts are going to be stopped out on the circuit. Freddie Cox has got going again. He wasn't the only one in trouble, actually, but the drivers are going to be stopped on the back straight. So this is an interesting scenario. As if the tension wasn't sky high enough for the birelART cadets, they're going to be stopped out on the circuit. Well, there's going to be a couple of minutes of pause while we're waiting for this situation to rectify itself. But a big drama then in the birelART cadets. So while they bring themselves onto the back straight, an opportunity to come outside and have a word with a few people who are watching, including our guest from the Ginetta Junior Championship, Will Martin. Good to see you back in the paddock. Are you missing it?
Yeah, I'm really missing it. It looks so enjoyable, especially in these conditions. I mean, my own favourite conditions, so, and a favourite track. Yeah, really missing it.
So if it were up to you, you'd have been out there with them?
Definitely, but got to have a budget for next year. Hopefully doing Ginetta Juniors again, that would be lovely. But yeah, if I could, I definitely would have gone out.
Well, we wish you all the best for that. Now, you've been here at Whilton Mill several times in these greasy conditions, and particularly the cadets are finding it a real struggle. What's the real problem with the wet weather here at Whilton Mill? What's the toughest element to deal with?
I'm not really sure. I reckon going around the outside of some of the corners, it's just such a long way round. Like, compared, if someone dives like you're inside, they can sort of take that, but it's just sort of getting a run all the way up to Christmas and just keeping your speed up, really.
And the thing is, there's so many parts of this circuit where overtaking moves that wouldn't normally work in the dry can happen here in the wet. You really have to keep your wits about you, and this is a very technical track for anyone to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a technical track for overtaking and whatnot, but yeah, it's a lovely track. I mean, it's amazing to have battles with. I had amazing battles with Morgan Cole. I was side by side with him for about 5-6 corners around the middle of the track, and yeah, it's brilliant track to race at.
Now, obviously, we've got a junior title fight to sort out a little bit later on today. Two drivers in the mix, Harry Graham and Callum Gunning. Who's your bet for the title?
I reckon Harry. He's looked so strong throughout the season, and he's so consistent. I reckon he can take it.
Okay, good to hear your thoughts on it, Will. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.
So who else is down here? It's my good mate, Matt Rainbow. He thought I wasn't going to find him. But Matt, you've been part of another Ginetta Championship, actually. You've been part of the GT5 Challenge this year. I'm guessing, I mean, you've come here and you've been here since yesterday, so you still got itchy feet for being out this championship?
Yeah, I would like to have another go at it, but yeah, budget for Ginettas is quite high, so got to save for that. But yeah, it's my favourite sort of condition today, but that's, yeah.
Well, you've been in this championship for quite a while, in and out as a supporter and as a competitor, having been as a junior and then into the elites, and now you're seeing it rebranded as the Daniel Ricciardo Series for next year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's great for the series to have someone like Daniel on board, especially with the whole ethos of what was Easy Kart and now is becoming Daniel Ricciardo Series. Yeah, I mean, I've been here for the past 8 years and seen pretty much everything, so I think it'll be really, really good for everyone.
And of course, you've done more laps around this circuit than a lot of people in the paddock, so you'll know these sorts of conditions here at Whilton Mill and how it affects where you can find grip, where you can maximise speed. How difficult is it when the conditions are so changeable?
Yeah, very difficult. I mean, around here it's especially greasy, and it won't tend to dry up for probably the rest of the day now. So it'll just be, I don't know, it'll be people gambling on slicks, and yeah, I mean, the grip round here tends to be around the outside of the corners, not on the racing line, especially as it was run all day yesterday on slick, so it'll be quite greasy on line.
With things being so changeable with the weather conditions, could the elites end up getting a little bit rough stuff if there's a chance that Fortnum might get a DNS, which if he does, that there's not going to be him winning the championship, it could be Richard Evans. Is that potential?
I think that's always a possibility, especially in senior lights. It is very hard, also very fair racing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much, Matt. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
So obviously the drivers now have started up their cadets and they're going around for another rolling lap. They've been instructed how they need to go about this. They've been reminded about where they need to hit the throttle, which is of course going to be at the yellow line on the start-finish straight. The first yellow line is when they need to hit the throttle. They just need to keep their cool at the moment because it's very difficult. Obviously the tensions and the nerves are high. Everybody is still very pumped about the fact that the championship is going to be rebranded next year. The cadets were really excited last night, seeing the new colours of the karts, the new colours of the team wearing the race suits. They're really excited about the fact that the brand ambassador for next year is Daniel Ricciardo. So obviously the tensions and the nerves and the adrenaline is very high pumping in the cadets at the moment. They all really want to finish this season well and start on a high. That is a spin, unfortunately, from the new boy, Ollie Morris. So Ollie Morris has got himself going again. And that just shows you how tricky it is in these conditions. I think we'll give Ollie Morris a bit of grace for that one because, of course, this is his first ever weekend in the championship and he's got really difficult conditions to contend with. So this is going to be a very difficult race ahead of them. All of the 21 drivers in this field with varying degrees of experience, with varying degrees of confidence. Some of them are still building that sky-high confidence that turns you into a professional athlete. And some of them are taking their very first steps into racing in this paddock. They'll be doing one and only one round of the birelART UK Series before it becomes DRS next year. So down the back straight. Now we're going to get the drivers hopefully on a clean start. Ella Stevens and Charlie Humphreys, Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley, Jamie Gurney and Archie Heron, then Jamie Scott and Josh Turnbull, Riley Price and Lily Jeffs. Craig Evans put towards the back of the field. A very frustrated Nathan Tye, I'm sure, sitting on the sidelines, but safe in the knowledge that he is the 2018 birelART Cadet Champion, but we have no idea who's going to be the rookie champion. So we're currently 10 minutes behind schedule. We'll try and make that up as quickly as we can. We're getting ourselves ready for the action. Wait for it, wait for it. Now you can put your foot on the throttle, and now it's a clean start. Ella Stevens blasts away to the lead, no problem. Charlie Humphreys in a second. Hassan and Keatley. It's nice and stable in the top four as they come through. Jamie Gurney up to 5th position. A good start from all of the drivers through the field. Not one spin through Oblivion and Crook. Really tough to get them way through, so a perfect performance from them all. Ella Stevens now in through and into 2nd position. Aidan Hassan's going to make the attempt on Charlie Humphreys. Humphreys hangs on. Very well fought there by Humphreys to get 2nd position sewn up for the moment as into the hairpin. Keatley going the long way round and getting much more speed off of Ashby to dive up the inside of Aidan Hassan. He's going to get into 3rd. Great run from Oakley Keatley as he now bags 3rd place. Brilliant performance there. A couple of moments from the back of the field as the drivers are just trying to keep themselves in a straight line. Side by side for 2nd. Oakley Keatley trying to come up the inside of Charlie Humphreys into the boot. He's going to outbrake him. And oh, Humphreys has gone off. Humphreys has gone straight on at the boot, and a spin between Archie Heron and Josh, is that Josh Turnbull with him as well? And a spin from Chase Sharp, and up on the top of him goes Max Winfield. Oh, very dramatic start to this race. Winfield appears to be okay, and I think he's going to get going again. And so too does Chase Sharp, so we're all right, but a little bit clumsy on the first lap. Understandable though. Ella Stevens leads, Keatley 2nd, Hassan 3rd, 4th is now Jamie Gurney in front of Jamie Scott, who is the leading rookie. Jamie Scott's going to make the move up the inside of Jamie Gurney, but Gurney's got the faster line round the outside of Christmas. He's going to hang on to 4th place. But Jamie Scott is looking good for his first rookie win. This would be a fantastic performance from Jamie. Then in 6th place, that's never Craig Evans. Unbelievable. Craig Evans has charged his way through from the back of the grid through to 6th position after 1 lap. That is phenomenal. Absolutely great run from Evans. Turnbull now 7th in front of another stellar effort from Mackenzie Taylor, who's right up there in 8th position, cracking driving on the first lap. Then it is Hudson Cross. No, it's not anymore, actually. It's now Cameron Lockett, and then Charlie Humphreys. So he's got that going again, Heron, and then it is Jake Bell. Jake Bell's doing a cracking job in these conditions as well now. Oh, big spin. 2 or 3 of them have gone together there. Looks like Ali Hussein's at a moment, but then we've got 3 down at the boot. That's Lily Jeffs trying to avoid a spinning 101. That's Jamie Warner. Still very tricky conditions here because it's not quite wet and it's not quite dry. So all the drivers really struggling to cope with the conditions in the cadets at the moment. But out in front, it is Ella Stevens who leads from Keatley, Hassan, Gurney and Jamie Scott. Here are Gurney and Scott. Scott takes the inside line, gets the best run through, but faster is the outside line in these greasy conditions. Jamie Scott looks behind him and suddenly thinks, hang on, where did Craig Evans come from? He's closing in and he's got company as well. Josh Turnbull is staying with Craig Evans. So this is good work from both Jamie and Josh. They are 1st and 3rd in the rookie brigade at the moment. Then Mackenzie Taylor, Cameron Lockett and Charlie Humphreys trying to make the comeback in front of Archie Heron. But through all of this, Ella Stevens hangs on to the lead in front of Oakley Keatley and Aidan Hassan. The top 3 remain unchanged after the end of the first lap. Every other position is set to change throughout. But Jamie Scott is by far and away putting on the race of his life at the moment, right in behind Jamie Gurney. This is a cracking run from Jamie Scott. In the last 48 hours, he has suddenly evolved into this mega little superstar, and he's putting on one heck of a show, trying to get up the inside of Jamie Gurney. No chance to get through there, and he's lost it. He runs wide. Oh, Jamie, get it going, get it going. He's got it back, but that's got Craig Evans into the lead of the rookie class. So Craig Evans now leads the rookie charge in front of Josh Turnbull, and up to 3rd in the rankings comes Mackenzie Taylor. Don't fret, Jamie, just get back on the horse, and he's got 3rd again straight away. Brilliant run there from Jamie Scott. What a fight back. Cameron Lockett coming around the outside and taking on Mackenzie Taylor as well. And we got another spin up on the exit of Inkermans. So somebody's gone off there and has spun the cart around. Can't quite make it out from this distance, unfortunately. But there's a yellow flag at the boot as well. That is Josh Turnbull. I think that's Josh Turnbull who's gone in the boot. So now that puts 2nd place in the rookies back to Mackenzie Taylor. Mackenzie Taylor now in 2nd place in the rookies. Josh Turnbull rejoins behind Jamie Scott. No, sorry, he is still in front of Jamie Scott. Where is the 49 at the moment? Oh no, he is further up the road. In fact, Jamie Scott, I think, has managed to charge his way back into 2nd in the rookies. Yes, he has. He's overtaken both Taylor and Lockett. I completely missed that one. Goodness me, so much going on in this race. So now it is Stevens. There's Freddie Cox making a move up the inside of Archie Heron. Good overtake there from Freddie Cox. This is all going terribly wrong for Archie Heron, but Freddie Cox gaining confidence in these greasy conditions. So a really good race this in the birelART Cadets. Ella Stevens leads the way from Keatley and Hassan. Jamie Gurney 4th from Craig Evans, Jamie Scott, Callum Lockett, Mackenzie Taylor, Charlie Humphreys and Josh Turnbull. Then it's Freddie Cox now in front of Archie Heron from Max Winfield. Then Riley Price, Jake Bell, Ollie Morris, Lily Jeffs, Hudson Cross, Jamie Warner, Chase Sharp and Ali Hussein. So Jamie Gurney now on his own in 4th position, trying to catch up with Keatley and Hassan up the road. Craig Evans is solidly in 5th position, driving an absolutely terrific run here and looking good for another rookie win. Cameron Lockett in 6th place at the moment in front of Mackenzie Taylor and Charlie Humphreys. There's a yellow flag as Ollie Morris has had a bit of a slip up at Ashby. Where is Jamie Scott? What's happened to Jamie Scott? He's dropped in behind Archie Heron now. So that is a real shame for Jamie Scott. Another spin, but in terms of what he's done today, absolutely fantastic performance so far. Jake Bell's had a little bit of a trip onto the grass at the boot and becomes the first driver to be lapped by Ella Stevens. So Ella Stevens continues on her way and over the start-finish line to begin her penultimate lap, I think it's going to be, with the time that we've got left. Well, we might get 3 laps out of it, actually. So far, though, Aidan Hassan has stuck like glue to Oakley Keatley, and he might be able to get 2nd place before the end of this race. Aidan Hassan's going to try and make a run up to Christmas, is he? Well, Oakley-Keatley is going to hold on to that outside line. Aiden Hassan knows that's the way to go too. So maybe not an overtaking move just yet. As Jamie Gurney continues to run in 4th, Evans in 5th, Lockett 6th from Humphreys, Mackenzie Taylor driving a great race. Josh Turnbull is next up, and then it is Freddie Cox, who is very nearly looking at a podium place. Oh no, sorry, Jamie Scott has once again been on the charge forward and has got past both Archie Heron and Freddie Cox on the last lap. And Jamie Scott sets a new personal best, fastest lap of the race though, from the lady on the top, Ella Stevens, 3 seconds clear of Oakley-Keatley, who is still hanging on in front of that man in the 55, Aiden Hassan, still trying to grab second place away. And there's a big run on the main straight as there's still some battles going on. Ella Stevens nips up the inside of Hudson Cross and laps him, but Aiden Hassan is battling away behind Oakley-Keatley to try and get second place. Oakley-Keatley goes deep. Track limits very laid back here in this non-MSA category. Aiden Hassan underneath the 9 of Oakley-Keatley as they come through the hairpin, back onto the power once again. There's a chance Keatley may get held up here by Ali Hussein, who gets out of the way perfectly though of both Keatley and Hassan. So that's very nicely handled. And a spin unfortunately for Ali Hussein as he tries to find a good braking spot not to hit the other two. So a really good run this from Jamie Scott to fight his way back. He's now trying to chase down Josh Turnbull. Archie Heron's had a bit of a moment. Freddie Cox has overtaken him again, up into 11th place. There's so much in terms of tricky conditions for the cadets to deal with here. It's one of the craziest races I've ever seen in birelART Cadet. But Ella Stevens out of the final turn is about to go into her final lap. Here she goes. So Ella Stevens returning to the championship, looking good for a win in front of Oakley-Keatley and Aiden Hassan. Can Hassan overtake Oakley-Keatley on the last lap? Keatley nearly getting held up by the back markers, but somehow knocking out behind Chase Sharp and Hudson Cross. Hassan getting a little bit balked behind them. And oh, Chase Sharp desperately trying not to clip Aiden Hassan, nudges him, and Hudson Cross spins off in sympathy. But now it looks to me as though Keatley's going to have done enough here for second position in front of Aiden Hassan. So good work as far as things are concerned for the moment. But for Ella Stevens, it's been a masterclass drive, returning to the championship, having been out for almost half a year. And now she is coming through for what is destined to be another victory, her 4th of the season. Started the year in a strong form, of course, and then disappeared, and is now back for the season finale. But Ella Stevens proves that she still has what it takes, as Ella Stevens takes the first race of the day. A brilliant victory for Ella. Oakley-Keatley is going to come through just in second place in front of Aiden Hassan. A brilliant effort from Aiden all the way through the race there. And Ella Stevens managing to lap everybody up to 14th place Riley Price. An amazing performance. Here comes Jamie Gurney to come through in 4th place. A consistent finish there for Jamie. So Aiden Hassan's going to need to score even more points to overtake him. Here comes Craig Evans. A rookie victory from the back. Absolutely brilliant. What an effort from Craig Evans in very difficult circumstances. Humphreys is 6th overall in front of Callum Lockett in the end. Then it's Mackenzie Taylor, second home of the rookies. What an effort from Mackenzie. 3rd place in the rookies is Josh Turnbull in front of the ever feisty Jamie Scott. Freddie Cox comes through next. Good effort from Freddie today. And then it will be, well, actually, it looks like it's going to be Max Winfield and Riley Price. Where's Archie Heron? There he is. A really difficult race for Archie. A good effort, though. He's had all sorts of difficulties in this race, and it's not really the sort of effort he would have liked. But in the Rookies Championship campaign, it's positive advantage for Craig Evans right now. Ella Stevens takes the victory from Oakley-Keatley and Aiden Hassan. Jamie Gurney is in front of Craig Evans. Charlie Humphreys, Callum Lockett, Mackenzie Taylor, Josh Turnbull and Jamie Scott. A brilliant effort from Max Winfield to be 12th in his first ever race in the championship. A really solid effort. So, absolutely terrific entertainment from the cadets. And Ella Stevens returns to the championship and picks up a race win. Welcome back to the action here at Whilton Mill. It is going to be an absolutely sensational end to the season in the final ever round of the birelART UK Series here at Whilton Mill. Before we transition into the 2019 season as the Daniel Ricciardo Series. It's the Cadets up next for the last pre-final of the season. And after her dominant performance in the earlier heat, Ella Stevens is looking good to continue the ball rolling as we get ourselves ready for action once again. But it is going to be a very tough battle with the rookie title still up for grabs. Ella Stevens will start from the front of the grid with Oakley Keatley and Aidan Hassan in connection behind. The grid is already forming up, so we may only be doing one rolling lap. But Ella Stevens is there with Oakley Keatley on the front row of the grid, Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney alongside each other with Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys, then Callum Lockett and Mackenzie Taylor. They are going to go around again, so we do have time to show you the grid in full, in fact. Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley from Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney. Then it is Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys on the third row of the grid from Callum Lockett and Mackenzie Taylor, with the rest of the field all in behind. These, of course, are the results from the earlier pre-final. So a really exciting end to the season for several of the drivers, with Ella Stevens taking her 4th victory of the year, having started the season and then continued it on a little bit later on at this last round. 17th podium finish for Oakley Keatley in the last race, with Aidan Hassan taking his 7th. Ella Stevens being on the podium with that victory for the 10th time in 2018. It's interesting, actually, because Oakley Keatley may be about to outperform Nathan Tye for podium finishes over the course of the season, but now he cannot beat him in terms of race victories, because Nathan Tye has 10 and Oakley Keatley has 7, and with only 2 races left, there's no way that Oakley Keatley is going to be able to outscore him. Problems for Mackenzie Taylor on the rolling lap. He has broken down on the rolling lap. That's a disaster for the 102. As Mackenzie Taylor, they're going to try and get the kart restarted. Having finished in a brilliant 7th place in the first race, it would be really heartbreaking to see him absent from the starting grid this time. So they're trying their best to get Mackenzie Taylor started again, but I have a feeling it's to no avail. Ella Stevens still leading the way around. They're slowing right up to give Mackenzie a chance to get back into the grid if he can, and he has got going again. Come on, Mackenzie, try and catch up with the rest of the field if you can. But Mackenzie Taylor is doing his best to try and get onto at least the back of the grid. I'm not sure he's going to have time to take up his original grid spot, but he is charging forward at race pace so that he can get back onto the tail end of the field. I'm not sure he'll get back into his grid slot, but at least he'll be able to race from the tail end. So the race is about to get underway with Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley, Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney, Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys, and the race is underway now. Cracking start from Ella Stevens. Hassan has got a flyer. Into 2nd place goes Aidan Hassan. Terrific start. Now Oakley Keatley's going to try and get him back on the undercut straight away. Mackenzie Taylor's already charging through the field at the back, but Aidan Hassan is making big guns onto Ella Stevens. Can he be the one to beat Ella Stevens in a straight fight? Now that would be a really big fillet for Aidan Hassan, who's had a great end to the season, and he's already charging after Ella as they come into the braking zone for the hairpin. Ella Stevens leads, Aidan Hassan in 2nd, 3rd position is Oakley Keatley. Then it's Charlie Humphreys, who's broken himself into 4th place now, ahead of Jamie Gurney. Then Craig Evans, Jamie Scott and Callum Lockett. So a really good start as Hassan goes a little bit wide but gets a faster line to deal with Ella Stevens. May get a chance to go for the lead. In fact, Hassan is going to work with Ella Stevens to break away. Oh, and a spin from Craig Evans! Evans spins and gets clattered into. So Jamie Scott tags him, and now Craig Evans has got to wait. Josh Turnbull is stuck on the curb. Craig Evans has to wait till the back of the field goes through as Ollie Morris and Max Winfield spin, and Freddie Cox is furious with Max Winfield, who gets back on the circuit right into the path of Freddie Cox. He should have waited. So now they come back onto the 2nd lap, and Ella Stevens leads Aidan Hassan, and they've broken clear a little way, the top 3. So Ella Stevens, Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley are now ahead of the rest of the field as the rain looks threatening to come back. Charlie Humphreys in front of Jamie Gurney. Then it's Archie Heron. Archie Heron has charged his way through, and there's a warning for contact on the board, on the digiboard here, for both of the new boys, Ollie Morris and Max Winfield. Aidan Hassan's getting some cooperation from Oakley Keatley. Keatley wants to win, and he knows that the only way to do that might be to work with Aidan Hassan to catch Ella Stevens. Humphreys is 4th from Gurney, then it's Heron, as up the inside goes Riley Price. Riley Price takes the lead of the rookie category. So many of the rookies have been strong here this weekend. And now Riley Price leads the rookie charge for the first time this weekend. So Riley Price is out in front. Second now is Archie Heron. Third of the rookies is Jamie Scott. And then it's Lily Jeffs, who's just been overtaken by Callum Lockett. Then Chase Sharp. No, hang on, that's Ali Hussein. My apologies. Very similar multicoloured carts and very similar numbers as well. But it's Hussein in front of Evans now from Jake Bell, Mackenzie Taylor, Jamie Warner, Chase Sharp, Freddie Cox, Max Winfield, Ollie Morris and Josh Turnbull, who was the one who spun out and got stuck on the curb. He has now got going, but he's got a lot of time to make up. As now Oakley Keeley, having dealt with Aiden Hassan, is going to get straight on with Ella Stevens. Trying to come around the outside. Ella Stevens hangs on in the lead. She's still doing a fantastic job to defend here, and there's not a lot that Oakley Keeley can do about this. So they continue to charge forward. Nathan Tye Jr. watching on the sidelines. Come on, Oakley. Wants his mate to do well. Oakley is guaranteed to be second in the category now, but he wants to beat Ella Stevens in a straight fight. As the battle continues, Archie Heron closing up on the number 60, but it's a reverse fortunes from the earlier race as we've had an off. That looks to me like Josh Turnbull has gone off at Osiers and has got himself stuck. Is that Josh Turnbull? I'm not sure if it is actually, thinking about it. Just watching them come through. I think that's trying to charge his way back into the race. It is Josh Turnbull who's gone off at Osiers, trying to get back into it as Keatley takes the lead. Hassan takes second. Keatley through to the lead, Hassan through to second. Absolutely amazing. They've both got Ella Stevens. So now the race for victory really is on, as Keatley is going to have a brilliant battle now, surely with Aiden Hassan, but Ella Stevens wants to get back into it. Hassan all over the back of Oakley Keatley. So here they come, the three leaders. A real change-up of the order. Keatley your leader, Hassan second, Stevens in third, fourth is Humphreys, fifth is Gurney, but the top three are absolutely together. As Hassan gets the run up Manuel's back, he might make a break into the hairpin now. So Keatley takes the lead, Stevens has a late lunge at Hassan, not close enough. Here comes Hassan again, onto the back of Oakley Keatley, they charge off the turn. Can Hassan make a charge in the corner? Not yet. Waiting for his moment at Ashby. Hassan's got a good run off the hairpin, might get a charge up the inside of Parker, not quite. So again, Hassan just working with Keatley to get away from Ella Stevens, and then they can battle for the victory, but Humphreys is catching them too. Gurney is there in fifth. Riley Price in a brilliant sixth place, leading the rookie category, with Archie Heron in second, and his chief rival, Craig Evans, down in fifth place of the rookies. So it's very good news for Archie Heron all of a sudden, not so great news for Craig Evans. Blue flags wave as the 83 of Josh Turnbull gets out of the way of the leading two, but Ella Stevens gets held up. Ella Stevens gets held up behind Turnbull, and that's broken the top two clear. So Stevens now needs to find a way to break through past Turnbull, and does so, but she's lost half a second, and that could be the difference between winning and losing. So now Keatley is working with Hassan. The two of them have realised that Stevens has dropped back. Right, let's get away together. Keatley and Hassan are no slouches, but they're also very smart, as Humphreys gets run off the road by Turnbull as he tries to lap him. Turnbull squeezes Humphreys a little bit too tight there. The blue flags were waving for the leaders as they came by, but Humphreys, unfortunately, ending up trying to lap Turnbull. And now he's going to try again, but Turnbull not aware really that Humphreys is there. Now he gets through, but that's held up Humphreys a little bit. But the good news is that Humphreys is definitely catching Ella Stevens as a result of this. But Keatley and Hassan are now getting away. Look, Hassan's not making the overtake on Oakley Keatley at all. He's looking at where Ella Stevens is and going, right, we should stretch away. So the two of them are pulling away from the rest of the pack in the hope that they're going to disappear away from Ella Stevens, and they have. Look, they've gained another second on her in the last lap, just working together. So Hassan's no fool. He wants to push away from Stevens and then battle with Oakley Keatley with 2 laps to go. And there's still time to kill, so they just need to keep driving away from the field. Meanwhile, in the rookie category, Riley Price is still leading. Well, apologies for the problems there with the commentary. Unfortunately, my microphone died at exactly the wrong moment in the race. But Aidan Hassan taking victory in front of Charlie Humphreys and Oakley Keatley, with Ella Stevens in 4th, Jamie Gurney in 5th place from Archie Heron, Riley Price, Craig Evans, Jamie Scott, Ali Hussein, Lily Jeffs, Callum Lockett, Mackenzie Taylor, Freddie Cox, and then the lap drivers, Chase Sharp, Jake Bell, Jamie Warner, Max Winfield, Josh Turnbull and Ollie Morrish. But an absolutely fantastic performance. Apologies to those of you watching on the live stream and listening on the feed to Downforce UK at home. Apologies for the technical problem. It is now fixed and sorted, and we'll make sure it's back again in time for the remaining races of the day. But a fantastic victory for Aidan Hassan. An amazing drive from Charlie Humphreys to fight back to 2nd. Oakley Keatley 3rd, and Ella Stevens in 4th from Jamie Gurney and Archie Heron. Welcome back to the action here at Whilton Mill. It is going to be an absolutely sensational end to the season in the final ever round of the birelART UK series here at Whilton Mill, before we transition into the 2019 season as the Daniel Ricciardo series. It's the cadets up next for the last pre-final of the season, and after her dominant performance in the earlier heat, Ella Stevens is looking good to continue the ball rolling as we get ourselves ready for action once again. But it is going to be a very tough battle with the rookie title still up for grabs. Ella Stevens will start from the front of the grid with Oakley Keatley and Aidan Hassan in connection behind. The grid is already forming up, so we may only be doing one rolling lap. But Ella Stevens is there with Oakley Keatley on the front row of the grid, Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney alongside each other with Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys, then Callum Lockett and Mackenzie Taylor. They are going to go around again, so we do have time to show you the grid in full, in fact. Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley from Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney. Then it is Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys on the 3rd row of the grid from Callum Lockett and Mackenzie Taylor, with the rest of the field all in behind. These, of course, are the results from the earlier pre-final. So a really exciting end to the season for several of the drivers, with Ella Stevens taking her 4th victory of the year, having started the season and then continued it on a little bit later on at this last round. 17th podium finish for Oakley Keatley in the last race, with Aidan Hassan taking his 7th. Ella Stevens being on the podium with that victory for the 10th time in 2018. It's interesting actually, because Oakley Keatley may be about to outperform Nathan Tye for podium finishes over the course of the season, but now he cannot beat him in terms of race victories, because Nathan Tye has 10 and Oakley Keatley has 7, and with only 2 races left, there's no way that Oakley Keatley is going to be able to outscore him. Problems for Mackenzie Taylor on the rolling lap. He has broken down on the rolling lap. That's a disaster for the 102, as Mackenzie Taylor, they're going to try and get the kart restarted. Having finished in a brilliant 7th place in the first race, it would be really heartbreaking to see him absent from the starting grid this time. So they're trying their best to get Mackenzie Taylor started again, but I have a feeling it's to no avail. Ella Stevens still leading the way around. They're slowing right up to give Mackenzie a chance to get back into the grid if he can, and he has got going again. Come on, Mackenzie, try and catch up with the rest of the field if you can. But Mackenzie Taylor is doing his best to try and get onto at least the back of the grid. I'm not sure he's going to have time to take up his original grid spot, but he is charging forward at race pace so that he can get back onto the tail end of the field. I'm not sure he'll get back into his grid slot, but at least he'll be able to race from the tail end. So the race is about to get underway with Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley, Aidan Hassan and Jamie Gurney, Craig Evans and Charlie Humphreys, and the race is underway now. Cracking start from Ella Stevens. Hassan has got a flyer. Into 2nd place goes Aidan Hassan. Terrific start. Now Oakley Keatley's going to try and get him back on the undercut straight away. Mackenzie Taylor's already charging through the field at the back, but Aidan Hassan is making big guns onto Ella Stevens. Can he be the one to beat Ella Stevens in a straight fight? Now that would be a really big fillet for Aidan Hassan, who's had a great end to the season, and he's already charging after Ella as they come into the braking zone for the hairpin. Ella Stevens leads, Aidan Hassan in 2nd, 3rd position is Oakley Keatley. Then it's Charlie Humphreys, who's broken himself into 4th place now, ahead of Jamie Gurney. Then Craig Evans, Jamie Scott and Callum Lockett. So a really good start as Hassan goes a little bit wide but gets a faster line to deal with Ella Stevens. May get a chance to go for the lead. In fact, Hassan is going to work with Ella Stevens to break away. Oh, and a spin from Craig Evans! Evans spins and gets clattered into So Jamie Scott tags him, and now Craig Evans has got to wait. Josh Turnbull is stuck on the curb. Craig Evans has to wait till the back of the field goes through as Ollie Morris and Max Winfield spin, and Freddie Cox is furious with Max Winfield, who gets back on the circuit right into the path of Freddie Cox. He should have waited. So now they come back onto the second lap, and Ellis Stevens leads Aidan Hassan, and they've broken clear a little way, the top three. So Ellis Stevens, Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley are now ahead of the rest of the field as the rain looks threatening to come back. Charlie Humphreys in front of Jamie Gurney. Then it's Archie Heron. Archie Heron has charged his way through, and there's a warning for contact on the board, on the digiboard here, for both of the new boys, Ollie Morris and Max Winfield. Aidan Hassan's getting some cooperation from Oakley Keatley. Keatley wants to win, and he knows that the only way to do that might be to work with Aidan Hassan to catch Ellis Stevens. Humphreys is fourth from Gurney, then it's Heron, as up the inside goes Riley Price. Riley Price takes the lead of the rookie category. So many of the rookies have been strong here this weekend, and now Riley Price leads the rookie charge for the first time this weekend. So Riley Price is out in front. Second now is Archie Heron. Third of the rookies is Jamie Scott, and then it's Lily Jeffs, who's just been overtaken by Callum Lockett. Then Chase Sharp. No, hang on, that's Ali Hussein, my apologies. Very similar multicoloured carts and very similar numbers as well. But it's Hussein in front of Evans now from Jake Bell, Mackenzie Taylor, Jamie Warner, Chase Sharp, Freddie Cox, Max Winfield, Ollie Morris and Josh Turnbull, who was the one who spun out and got stuck on the curb. He has now got going, but he's got a lot of time to make up. As now Oakley Keatley, having dealt with Aidan Hassan, is going to get straight on with Ellis Stevens. Trying to come around the outside. Ellis Stevens hangs on in the lead. She's still doing a fantastic job to defend here, and there's not a lot that Oakley Keatley can do about this. So they continue to charge forward. Nathan Tye Jr. watching on the sidelines. Come on, Oakley. Wants his mate to do well. Oakley is guaranteed to be second in the category now, but he wants to beat Ellis Stevens in a straight fight. As the battle continues, Archie Heron closing up on the number 60. But it's a reverse fortunes from the earlier race as we've had an off. That looks to me like Josh Turnbull has gone off at Osiers and has got himself stuck. Is that Josh Turnbull? I'm not sure if it is, actually, thinking about it. Just watching them come through. I think that's trying to charge his way back into the race. It is Josh Turnbull who's gone off at Osiers, trying to get back into it as Keatley takes the lead. Hassan takes second. Keatley through to the lead, Hassan through to second. Absolutely amazing. They've both got Ellis Stevens. So now the race for victory really is on, as Keatley is going to have a brilliant battle now, surely with Aidan Hassan, but Ellis Stevens wants to get back into it. Hassan all over the back of Oakley Keatley. So here they come, the three leaders. A real change-up of the order. Keatley your leader, Hassan second, Stevens in third, fourth is Humphreys, fifth is Gurney, but the top three are absolutely together. As Hassan gets the run up Manuel's back, he might make a break into the hairpin now. So Keatley takes the lead, Stevens has a late lunge at Hassan, not close enough. Here comes Hassan again, onto the back of Oakley Keatley, they charge off the turn. Can Hassan make a charge in the corner? Not yet. Waiting for his moment at Ashby. Hassan's got a good run off the hairpin, might get a charge up the inside of Parker, not quite. So again, Hassan just working with Keatley to get away from Ellis Stevens, and then they can battle for the victory, but Humphreys is catching them too. Gurney is there in fifth. Riley Price in a brilliant sixth place, leading the rookie category, with Archie Heron in second, and his chief rival, Craig Evans, down in fifth place of the rookies. So it's very good news for Archie Heron all of a sudden, not so great news for Craig Evans. Blue flags wave as the 83 of Josh Turnbull gets out of the way of the leading two, but Ellis Stevens gets held up. Ellis Stevens gets held up behind Turnbull, and that's broken the top two clear. So Stevens now needs to find a way to break through past Turnbull, and does so, but she's lost half a second, and that could be the difference between winning and losing. So now Keatley is working with Hassan. The two of them have realised that Stevens has dropped back. Right, let's get away together. Keatley and Hassan are no slouches, but they're also very smart, as Humphreys gets run off the road by Turnbull as he tries to lap him. Turnbull squeezes Humphreys a little bit too tight there. The blue flags were waving for the leaders as they came by, but Humphreys, unfortunately, ending up trying to lap Turnbull. And now he's going to try again, but Turnbull not aware, really, that Humphreys is there. Now he gets through, but that's held up Humphreys a little bit. But the good news is that Humphreys is definitely catching Ellis Stevens as a result of this. But Keatley and Hassan are now getting away. Look, Hassan's not making the overtake on Oakley Keatley at all. He's looking at where Ella Stevens is and going, right, we should stretch away. So the two of them are pulling away from the rest of the pack in the hope that they're going to disappear away from Ella Stevens, and they have. Look, they've gained another second on her in the last lap, just working together. So Hassan's no fool. He wants to push away from Stevens and then battle with Oakley Keatley with 2 laps to go. And there's still time to kill, so they just need to keep driving away from the field. Meanwhile, in the rookie category, Riley Price is still leading. Well, apologies for the problems there with the commentary. Unfortunately, my microphone died at exactly the wrong moment in the race. But Aidan Hassan taking victory in front of Charlie Humphreys and Oakley Keatley, with Ella Stevens in fourth, Jamie Gurney in fifth place from Archie Heron, Riley Price, Craig Evans, Jamie Scott, Ali Hussein, Lily Jeffs, Callum Lockett, Mackenzie Taylor, Freddie Cox, and then the lap drivers, Chase Sharp, Jake Bell, Jamie Warner, Max Winfield, Josh Turnbull and Ollie Morrish. But an absolutely fantastic performance. Apologies to those of you watching on the live stream and listening on the feed to Downforce UK at home. Apologies for the technical problem. It is now fixed and sorted, and we'll make sure it's back again in time for the remaining races of the day. But a fantastic victory for Aidan Hassan. An amazing drive from Charlie Humphreys to fight back to second. Oakley Keatley third, and Ella Stevens in fourth from Jamie Gurney and Archie Heron. No doubting the weather for the rest of the day now. It is torrential rain throughout the last three finals of the season. And for each of these drivers, it's the last race of the year as a birelART UK driver, before next year we become Daniel Ricciardo Series drivers. And it's going to be a momentous occasion, the end of an era, with the racing set to go out with a bang. And there's a title to be decided here in the junior contingent, in the cadet contingent, sorry, and that is the Rookie Crown. The two battlers at the top of the points table, Craig Evans and Archie Heron, are looking good at the moment for a last final race that will give one of them the rookie prize. And this man, Craig Evans, is currently looking good for it. All he needs to do is what he's been doing for the last two races, hanging on to it, keeping the focus, and never saying die. It's a great opportunity to get this one, but he knows that this is going to be a long and very tough race. Riley Price could be the man to take the victory in the Rookie Crown off him, though. He took a victory over the course of the race weekend, certainly looking like he was going to in the first, in the pre-finals, sorry. Archie Heron just pipping him to the post. This man could get there all weekend long. He's been ridiculously fast. Jamie Scott has really stepped up his game, and this could be the weekend he could get his first rookie victory. Plenty of talent on this field. There's Ali Hussein, who really stepped up in the wet in the pre-final. It's torrential rain now, so who knows what he could do from here. There's a very good chance for Ali. He could well take the whole thing himself. There's Callum Lockett, his last ever race as a cadet before he steps up as a junior next year in blue and white. It's been a very impressive run for Callum Lockett in the last 2 years. Now he'll step up as a junior with pride. There's Lily Jeffs, looking likely to pick up the mantle from Ella Stevens if she decides to move away permanently as the fast female in cadets. Her rookie season has been a really strong one. A great end to the year for Mackenzie Taylor. He's been really impressive in these last two races. The results may not quite have come the way he wanted them to, but in terms of his racecraft, there's no doubting how good he is. There's Freddie Cox, learning the hard way, in at the deep end, but never, ever giving up. And an incredible young talent with it. There is Jake Bell, another one who's been very strong this weekend when all the chips have been against him. Chase Sharp, gearing up for the action. And again, his absolute commitment and never say die attitude is what is going to make him a potential title contender next year. There's Jamie Warner, leaps and bounds this weekend for him. And there's Josh Turnbull, always knocking on the front of the rookies grid, but the results have not quite come the way. An admirable effort from these two, the 31 and 44, Max Winfield, and the ever-smiling Ollie Morrish. It's going to be great to see him in the paddock every weekend, isn't it? It will be impossible not to smile when you see him coming around the corner. Just loves his motor racing. There's the 100 Hudson Cross. He's been very, very strong in the dry here, but there's no more dry running to be had. So now he's got to dig deep and find something special. But next year is definitely going to be a good one for Hudson Cross at his current rate of development. But towards that sharp end of the grid, there's going to be several competitive spirits to race for one last time this year. Who's going to bow out with a victory? Aidan Hassan won the pre-final, of course. So now it's time to see if he can make it a third race win of the season. And after an absolutely cracking display He's going to have to work very hard to keep Charlie Humphreys at bay, who in the wet, of course, Charlie Humphreys may actually have the advantage over the rest of the field here. As a slightly taller driver at the front end of the field, he's actually got more traction in these slippery conditions than some of the others. And in terms of his spirit and competitive drive, there is nobody who is more feisty when it comes to going for those gaps. So Charlie Humphreys may be about to bow out of cadets on a high. It's his last race as a cadet as well before he steps up to the juniors next year. So let's see what he can do from the front row of the grid. All eyes on these top 6 drivers on the grid. There's Ella Stevens in 4th position on the starting grid. Never lower than P4 this year, despite only a half campaign in the category. Always incredibly fast. But these two, together on the same side of the starting grid, Archie Heron and Craig Evans, they are fighting for the rookie campaign, the 59 and the 98. Those two will battle away for the rookie honours. There's Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley, working together smartly in the pre-final to stretch away from the rest of the field and put themselves in contention for the victory. That's a nice touch. Oakley Keatley's umbrella being held by the new champion, Nathan Tye. Good mates, these two. And it's great to see that the rivalry has not dampened the friendship. If anything, it's made it stronger. And now these two are going to have a really great off-season. But Nathan Tye is going to wish his buddy well. Go get a victory, mate. Finish it off in fine style. Of course, if he does do that, or if he finishes in the top 3, he will actually outscore Nathan Tye for podiums this year. He'll get 1 extra podium. Tye has 18, so does Oakley Keatley. So for the last time in 2018, the last time ever, birelART UK cadets go to battle. DRS is upon us next year, but for one more time, it's birelART UK cadet time. Here's the starting grid for the last ever birelART UK Cadet 60 final. Aidan Hassan and Charlie Humphreys on the front row of the starting grid. Then it is Oakley Keatley alongside Ella Stevens on the second row of the grid. Jamie Gurney is beside Archie Heron, and Archie Heron unfortunately just missed his braking point there up at the Christmas hairpin and ended up running straight into the back of poor Ella Stevens as they ran through there. Not quite sure what happened, but a big moment for Archie Heron as he ended up accidentally slamming into the back of Ella Stevens on the rolling lap. So Archie needs to be a bit careful of that. So here's the grid. Aidan Hassan and Charlie Humphreys on the front row of the grid. From Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens on the outside line. Then it is Archie Heron alongside Jamie Gurney, with Jamie Gurney on the inside line for 5th and Archie Heron on the outside for 6th. On the 7th position spot, it's Riley Price alongside Craig Evans, who potentially could seal the title in the rookies campaign here. 9th and 10th on the grid, Jamie Scott and Ali Hussein. 2 more rookies who have really shown their flair in the wet conditions. 11th and 12th on the grid, Lily Jeffs and Callum Lockett, who waves goodbye to cadets with this race and will step up to juniors next year. Then it is Mackenzie Taylor and Freddie Cox, 2 names you need to keep an eye on for the future. They've dipped their toe in the water of cadets this year. Next year, they'll be established guards. Chase Sharp and Jake Bell, 2 other names very similarly who've been here all season, and they will want to come back in 2019 as a DRS title contender. Jamie Warner and Max Winfield on the 9th row of the starting grid. Then we will see on the 10th row, Josh Turnbull beside Ollie Morrish, and Hudson Cross will take up the 21st position on the starting grid. Watch him charge through, because he will not be finishing the race as low as that if he's got any say in the matter. So the Cadet 60 final for the last time in birelART UK about to get underway. And what a battle this is going to be from the front end of the field for Aidan Hassan, Charlie Humphreys, Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens. It'll be an amazing end to the season, and what a great battle it is going to be. So the drivers will put themselves into the shop window for the very last time as a birelART cadet before we go blue and white next year, and everybody will be going blue and white. But Aidan Hassan starts the last race of birelART UK cadet from pole position. Charlie Humphreys alongside him. And then it is Oakley Keatley and Ella Stevens from Jamie Gurney and Archie Heron. The field very much slowed down there by clerk of the course, Matt Daniels. So they're on the back straight, needing to keep formation as they all go through together. And so now, the moment of waiting is over. It is time to finish the season. We know the overall champion. We don't yet know the rookie champion. One more race will decide the fate of Archie Heron and Craig Evans at the top of the rookie standings. Who will emerge as the top dog in the rookie category, and who's going to bow out of birelART Cadet as the #1 cadet in the wet and slippery conditions here at Whilton Mill. They drop down off the boot. The engine revs will rise. They will not accelerate until the yellow line on the start finish straight. They need to make sure they are absolutely together. It's going to be a formation start. That's a perfect start. Away we go, and Hassan launches into the lead. And Keatley darts up to second. What a getaway from Oakley Keatley. Up into P2 straight away. Absolutely terrific start. Ella Stevens has got Jamie Gurney to her left, but she's now got traction. And he's going to dive at the inside of Humphreys and maybe Keatley as well. She gets the inside line and takes second position. What a move from Stevens. And now she's on Aiden Hassan round the outside. Stevens leads it. Absolutely amazing. I've seen some performances from her in the past, but that was unbelievable. Now Hassan is second. Keatley is third. And now Keatley's going to dive for the inside of Aiden Hassan. Hassan squeezes into the outside and hangs on to the place. Charlie Humphreys now settling in for fourth. Bye, boys. I'm off, says Ella Stevens. Charging down the back straight. I've got the lead. Catch me if you can. Into the braking zone for the boot. Aiden Hassan, Keatley, Humphreys and Gurney. Jamie Gurney looking a lot stronger on the opening lap this time. Maybe he can stay with. Archie Heron leading the rookies. Then it is Riley Price. And there's a couple of moments as we've got a yellow flag. I think that's a spin for Chase Sharp. But he has got going again. Jamie Scott trying to get the move on the inside of Riley Price. Craig Evans being very sensible and just hanging back from the queue, waiting to see what happens. It's going well for Craig Evans at the moment. But he could do with getting closer to his chief rival Archie Heron to deaden some of the gap. But this is going to be a very interesting fight all the way to the finish. Ella Stevens in front of Aiden Hassan and Oakley Keatley. The gap has opened up to 1.9 already. So it looks as though Ella Stevens is going to make history and be the last cadet winner in the birelART UK. But there's a long way still to go. We've got 10 minutes still of racing, plus the additional lap, as Aiden Hassan chops across Oakley Keatley, remains in second. Jamie Gurney going for Charlie Humphreys. Now Gurney looks as though he's got something special. Heron still in sixth. Then it's Price, Scott, Lockett, Evans, Lily Jeffs, and then Mackenzie Taylor. Oh, and a spin from Jeffs. Lily Jeffs has gone off, unfortunately, into the boot. So she's going to try and get back on relatively quickly. Hasn't lost too many places. That's good work. So Ella Stevens has now extended the gap to 3.8 seconds. Charging away from the field. Aiden Hassan in second place has now dropped Oakley Keatley. But the gap is not big enough for him to be comfortable yet. There's still a long way to go as Callum Lockett makes the move on the inside of Jamie Scott and gets the place into Christmas hairpin. And now Callum Lockett's trying again. See, once more, in the wet conditions, Callum Lockett may have a bit of an advantage here. Being taller, he'll have a bit more traction to play with. But Craig Evans there just keeping it nice and steady. Jamie Gurney's having a much better race this time. He's not going to be in no man's land if he can help it. And there's a little bit of contact further back as Jake Bell has had a little bit of a coming together. Unfortunately with, I think it's Max Winfield who he's tagged with. So a little bit of a trip up for those two, but both of them have got going again. That's good news. So Max Winfield and Jake Bell having a little bit of a spin up at Christmas Corner, but they have got going again. And there's another spin this time at Ozier's, and that I think is the 100 of Hudson Cross. So Cross has got going again. Yes, it is Hudson. Up at the Christmas hairpin, Ella Stevens is doing 104.999 compared to the rest who are in the 106s and 107s. Aiden Hassan, second fastest on the racetrack at the moment, and is still 6 seconds nearly back from Ella Stevens in the lead. So they charge away at the front end of the field. Ella Stevens working beautifully in the lead of the race. Aiden Hassan in second, going full guns blazing. Keatley in third, Humphreys is fourth, Gurney is in fifth position. Sixth place is Archie Heron. Seventh position is Callum Lockett, and then it is Riley Price in front of Jamie Scott. But those two very close together. Next up is Mackenzie Taylor, who's got past Craig Evans, and then Freddie Cox is right in behind. So the race has still got to play out. It's going to be very tight. But obviously, the points are going to be very important to calculate. Oh, and a spin for Archie Heron! Archie Heron spun at the top of the hairpin! I don't believe it! Now, that's cost him a couple of places. Riley Price has got through. So has Callum Lockett, so has Jamie Scott. But Heron is now just 2 places in front of Craig Evans. Now, by my math, that means that Craig Evans would seal it. He's just got to keep pushing. He's got to stay focused. As long as he's within 2 places of Archie Heron, then he should get this job done. But it's very tight at the moment. You can't afford to make a single mistake, and that's what it's done. Archie Heron might have gained enough points from that race to seal the points table in the rookie class, but I have a feeling that that's now swung it back in Craig Evans' favour. So they've just got to keep digging. They've got to keep the focus. And Craig Evans is doing exactly what he needs to here, not overdriving the cart. He's just keeping it nice and steady. Archie Heron has got his rhythm back very quickly, though, so I don't think this is going to be easily settled. Archie Heron still charging. What this means, of course, is that now we have a new rookie leader. I was going to say it's Riley Price, but he's gone off at the boot. Around the outside, Jamie Scott gets him. Jamie Scott's taken the lead in the rookie class. So Jamie Scott now takes the lead of the rookies. Riley Price has got going again. He's in second. Archie Heron is third in the rookies. Then it's Mackenzie Taylor, and then it is Craig Evans. So that's okay for the moment. What a fantastic contest this is in the rookie class. It keeps changing, and that just shows you how even it is in the rookies. At the top 5, nothing has changed. It's still Stevens pulling away from Hassan to the tune of 9 seconds now. Keatley is third, and Jamie Gurney is bolted to the back bumper of Charlie Humphreys. Then it's Callum Lockett in P6, and then it's a mass of rookies. And it's led by Jamie Scott at the moment. So Jamie Scott is out in front of Riley Price. Then it's Archie Heron. Then Mackenzie Taylor. Craig Evans has had a little bit of a spin coming out of the hairpin and Ashby, but he's not lost a place. He's only lost time. 5 minutes to go, plus the additional lap. Hang on to it, Craig. Archie, keep pushing. You never know what's coming. Still, the wet weather very much playing its part in this race. It's so tight down to the last few race laps of the season. Wipe of the visor for Charlie Humphreys with Jamie Gurney in behind. Humphreys cannot afford to breathe for a second. That's a spin from Ollie Morrish, who gets going again. Meanwhile, there's a good battle going on between Ali Hussein and Freddie Cox as they race for 15th, and Freddie Cox takes him on the inside line there. That would have felt really sweet to get the move on the toe of the boot as Freddie Cox comes through and gets the place. Nicely done. So Freddie Cox keeps drilling it home, and he's doing an amazing job here. And now his next target up the road is going to be Hudson Cross in 14th place. Meanwhile, in the lead of the rookies, it is still Jamie Scott just getting past Ollie Morrish. Then it is Riley Price, Archie Heron, Mackenzie Taylor and Craig Evans. By my mathematics, if it stays as it is, it's going to be tight, but Archie Heron would just lose out to Craig Evans in the rookie points. Not by much at all, but it's going to be a very tough end to the season, whatever happens, as Riley Price drifts wide. Manages to keep the place. Archie Heron still trying to catch him as he storms around the outside of Ollie Morrish. Good work from Archie, and that could have saved his bacon. He keeps charging after Riley Price, but Jamie Scott is being so careful now in the lead of the rookies class. If he stays there, it will be his first rookie victory, and it will be richly deserved. But Evans is upping the pace now. He's just set his personal best lap, and he's coming back into the fray once again. Still, the battle continues, and it's still not decided in the rookies campaign. For the moment, it would be Craig Evans by a couple of points, but not by much. So they're going to continue to drill it forward. They're pushing on. It's going to be a really close battle. I may have to do my mathematics again with my algorithm to see how this is going to go between Archie Heron and between Archie Heron and Craig Evans, but Heron is now stepping up the ante to close in on Riley Price. He is getting back on with this now. If he gets into second place in the rookies class, he may be able to bring enough points home on dropped scores to get this done. This is going to be so tight. I'm going to need to do some maths at the end of this race to count up their scores through the season to figure out what they've actually achieved. So you're going to have to bear with me at the end of the race because I will be doing some maths. But obviously there's a lot of interest in this. They'll want to know who has got the job done. So I might have to take a pause at the end of this race just to see what the mathematics is, and then we will be able to confirm who has got the rookie crown because it's so tight. I'm not entirely sure if it's clear cut at the end of this race unless I get the maths out. Well, one thing is for certain, both of them have given their best. They have given it everything they've got. The 59 of Archie Heron and the 98 of Craig Evans, still pushing hard to the end of the season, and it is going to be an incredibly close call. And still, Riley Price pushes after Jamie Scott in the bid to win the last cadet rookie race of the season. But out in front overall, Ella Stevens has extended her lead to 13.4 over Aidan Hassan. Oakley Keatley is 6 seconds further back. Charlie Humphreys is running in fourth. There is the rookie leader. That is Jamie Scott, who is being caught by Riley Price just a little bit every corner, a little bit every sector. So Riley Price is pushing hard, trying to get his first rookie win in behind Jamie Scott, who's bidding to win his first rookie win. Both of them working hard, both of them at their absolute peak at the moment as Jamie Scott tiptoes in behind Jake Bell. There's Riley Price, still gunning hard down the back straight. This is such a mature drive from both of them. They've really risen to the challenge here in the wet, and neither of them are at any weak spots at the moment. They're just keeping it together. Riley Price totally in command of the car at the moment, despite the back coming out. He's fully in command of it. He knows how to get this done. He's working so hard. This is a valiant effort into the last 30 seconds, and it's a spin from Riley Price. Price down the main straight. Oh, he's devastated. Absolutely devastated for Riley Price. It happens. It's the wet weather. It's the wet weather. He can't believe it. He's worked so hard. Well, it's such a valiant effort from Riley Price. He deserves to be congratulated for such an incredible drive. That's the best we've seen him perform all season. Oh, we've had the spin. That's Chase Sharp and Jamie Warner have come together there at Ozier's. But that's nothing for Riley Price. There it is. He's suddenly realised it's all gone wrong. What a shame. As Ella Stevens is about to begin the last lap of the season. And what a victory it's going to be when she gets there. But in the rookies contingency now, it's going to be Archie Heron second and Craig Evans fourth. Now, that's going to gain them both a couple of extra points. So I can't do the math that quickly. It's definitely going to come down to the best dropped scores. I'm going to have to do some maths at the end. Apologies to all of the spectators who will want to know, but I'm going to have to use my special spreadsheet that can calculate dropped scores, and we'll figure out who's done it after the race. But it's so close. But what a shame for Riley Price. So nearly the victor in the rookies category. But Ella Stevens goes into the last lap of the season out in front by 16 seconds to Aidan Hassan. And it's going to be a really brilliant end to the season for her. She's had a great year in karting overall. She's done several championships, but she's very much been birelART at heart. She returned to the championship this weekend, and in her first minute out of the car, she ran back to her friends and has really warmly re-embraced the paddock. I think she may be back in 2019 for another go in blue and white, because she absolutely adores racing in this paddock. She's got so many friends here. They love her as one of their own, and it's going to be a great end to the season. She won the title last year. She's had a breakthrough year and a character-building campaign in 2018, but it's great to see her where she's very happy indeed. She comes through the final few corners, and the last race ever in birelART UK Cadets is going to be won by Ella Stevens. She comes out of the final turn and wins the last race of the year at Whilton Mill. Excellent job. Brilliant race and a fantastic performance. Second position is going to be Aidan Hassan, who has taken it nicely in his stride in the last race of the year. Well done to Aidan Hassan, and I'm fairly sure that has clinched fourth place in the Drivers' Championship. A brilliant performance there and a great end to the season, but now the attention turns to the rookies as Charlie Humphreys comes through with Jamie Gurney hot on his heels. Good effort there from Jamie. Callum Lockett comes through. The final rookie winner of the season is gonna be Jamie Scott. Is it? Because Archie Heron is right underneath him. Jamie Scott goes out wide. Archie Heron keeps the foot flat to the floor, but Jamie Scott's done it. Jamie Scott wins the last rookie race of the year. Archie Heron is second. Third over the line is Mackenzie Taylor. And waiting with bated breath for Craig Evans, who will come through in P4 in the rookies class after a brilliant season, a great end to the year. What a great result between Archie Heron and Craig Evans. I now need to go to my spreadsheet and try and figure out mathematically which of the two of them it is that has got the rookie title. Unfortunately, my points table doesn't change automatically, so now there is going to be a slight pause, unfortunately, as I try and work out who has done what this weekend and what it means. But Ayla Stevens has got the victory from Aidan Hassan and Oakley Keatley. Charlie Humphreys fourth from Gurney and Lockett. Jamie Scott wins the last rookie race of the season in front of Archie Heron, Mackenzie Taylor and Craig Evans. Lily Jeffs, Josh Turnbull, Freddie Cox and Hudson Cross. What a dramatic end to the season, and what a brilliant win for Ella Stevens to bow out as a birelART Cadet UK driver on the top. A very exciting end to the season then for the last ever birelART Cadets UK race. And that race was full of thrills and spills and plenty of splashes, of course, along the way. But what a dramatic end to the season. You couldn't have called that any differently if you tried. And what an end to the season it is in the cadets. I'm now going to do some maths, and hopefully it will all make sense, because we've also got a birelART UK Junior Championship to decide. 5 points between them, of course. So this is not going to be easy to calculate. I'll do my best, and I apologise that it's going to take a few minutes, but hopefully I can get it sorted pretty quickly as to try and figure out which of them it is that's got it. It is hard to tell because they're so closely matched in the championship fight, of course. They've been dueling together, those two, all season long, Archie Heron and Craig Evans. But I need to do the calculations properly. And of course, this is all going to be unofficial because they then need to be scrutineered and it all needs to be above board. And then obviously it needs to be officially confirmed, but I can certainly do the maths from where I am, and hopefully it will make sense. But you'll have to bear with me a few minutes, unfortunately, because I wasn't expecting it to be quite as close as that. But yet again, they have delivered absolutely to the letter. Hello and welcome back to Whilton Mill. It's the last round of the birelART UK Series 2018. We've had an amazing day of racing. It's been a great season finale, and the last time we all wear red and white, of course, before we hand over to the DRS, the Daniel Ricciardo Series, next year. So let's get our final podium winners of 2018 on the podium, starting with the Cadet Championship. And our first novice home for the first time in 2018 and the last race of the season, the number 49, Jamie Scott! Andy Cox will present the trophy to Jamie after a fantastic final race weekend of the year. The trophy weighs nearly as much as he does. An absolutely fantastic end to the season for Jamie Scott and a great end to the year. Give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. Your final rookie winner, Jamie Scott. And so, to our top three drivers. Jamie, just to the side so you're still in the shot afterwards for our final top three drivers at the end of the season then. In third position, once again on the podium for, I believe it is the 19th time this year, the number 9, Oakley Keatley!
A great end to the year and runner-up in the championship points provisionally, of course, as well. It'll all be officially confirmed at the end of the season, of course. In second place with his second pre-final win of the year and another great podium finish, the 55, Aiden Hassan! A great end to the year for Aiden and another strong result, but returning to the championship and taking another victory to round off the 2018 season. Last year's champion, the number 1, Ella Stevens! Welcome back to the paddock, Ella. A terrific end to the year and a great way to round off a fantastic season. So there are your 4 drivers on the final podium of 2018 in the birelART UK Cadets. Give it up again, ladies and gentlemen, for Jamie Scott, Oakley Keeley, Aiden Hassan and Ella Stevens. I'll quickly run in and grab a word with Ella on the top step of the podium. Ella, it's been a few months since we've seen you, but great to welcome you back, and it's good to see you back on the podium again.
Yeah, it's been great to come back. I've been glad to see all my friends and have a race again.
So hopefully we'll see you again next year. Well done, Ella. Fantastic job. I think we've got time actually to grab on with the others. We've got a little bit of time. Aiden, second position and another podium, another victory in the pre-final as well. So next year, I guess you'll be even stronger.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll just be pushing to get first every time.
So I'm guessing next year there's going to be a few more wins where these ones came from.
Yeah, definitely.
Good job. Well done, Aiden. Let's get a quick word in there with Oakley Keeley in third position. Come a bit further forward, Oakley, so we can have a chat. A very tough season, a runner-up spot, very well deserved, but I guess there's going to be even more next year.
Yeah, hopefully I could try and get the number 1 next year championship.
I'm sure that won't be a bad one. Have a good one. Jamie, come a little bit further forward. Let's get you to the front because you're the first rookie home, so let's get you down and have a quick chat. That's taken all season really to get to that point, but you must be delighted to get it right at the end.
Yeah, I really am, because like Craig and Archie have been getting them, but this time I've got them.
Good job. Let's have some more next year. Ladies and gentlemen, your cadets for the last round of the championship. Well done, guys. Fantastic end to the year. Well done. So congratulations to Jamie, Oakley, Aiden and Ella. A final word at the end of the last ever birelART UK Series weekend from Andy Cox. Andy, a very emotional end to the birelART brand here in the paddock, but we're really looking forward to seeing the Daniel Ricciardo series in next year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we're still working with Birel and looking forward to welcoming the guys at Ricciardo Kart. I'd just like to thank everybody for supporting the series this year. Thanks to our commentator. And thank you to all my race direction staff who have a real difficult job. You know, obviously trying to keep all the races running and trying to keep everybody happy. You know, I'd like to say a special thanks to everybody in the race support, Don, Jane, Pete, Carol, Stuart, and Lee. And everybody who I've forgotten, but no, it's a lot of work to put the show on, you know, with the help of Alpha Live, you know, and Sam in the timing and stuff like that. You know, it's you know, we enjoy it. So I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you all come back next year. I think we've got the awards evening in January. We'll be at the Autosports show in January as well. So, you know, I want to say congratulations to all our champions in all 3 classes. So we need to verify everything, and then we will cheer our champions at the awards evening.
Thank you very much. Andy Cox, ladies and gentlemen, your championship coordinator. A fantastic end to a fantastic season. It's goodbye birelART UK. Hello, Danny Ricciardo. See you next year in 2019. Bring it on!